Hey, welcome to class today. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of a workout class, and it's going to be mostly strength, but it will get our heart rate up, which is a good thing for us. So we're going to start by getting a little bit warm up. So just put your feet about as wide as your shoulders right here. Right, we're going to get down nice and low, but take it at your own pace. So we're just bending your knees. If you get to a spot where you can't keep your feet flat on the floor, then just come right back up. And we're just going to do this 7 times. So if you can go lower, go lower. If you can't go lower, but we want to keep our back straight. We're going to focus on this movement here in just a minute. And when you get to 7, then you're done. And again, if you can go down lower, then you can go down lower, and keep your feet flat on the floor. All right, now let's start warming up the back of our legs a little bit. We're going to do some stretch kicks, which is not a self-defense move, but leg straight, go straight up, back down. 2, 3. Work your way higher and higher. It's okay if you can never kick in front of your own face. It stays down here. If your knee's straight, you should be able to feel a pull on the back of that leg. Let's do one more. And let's do the opposite side. Same thing, knees straight, leg all the way locked out. Go up here. If you can, maybe go a little higher the next time. It should not be painful. You should feel the stretch, but not any pain. We're getting our hips, the back of the leg, everything warmed up, ready to go. And good, and rest. Now very slowly, we never do this fast. We're gonna bend our knee and bring it up across us. I'm taking this knee, bringing it up across, and I'm gonna pull it slowly to the outside, set it down, now other side. Pick it up, bring it across, bring it down. Up, across, down. Very slowly and controlled with our muscles. Not swinging, not going fast. Just nice and slow, back and forth. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Now, a little bit more with our back, we're gonna do some toe touches. So, knees straight-ish, soft knees, relaxed knees. And we're just gonna go down the middle, slowly, and then slowly back up. You don't have to keep a flat back or anything. Just let that back round out. Two more. One more. And rest. All right, so next thing I want to do is warm up our shoulders a little bit. So we're going to start with our hands open, and we're going to give ourselves a big hug. One hand over, and the next time the other hand over. Try not to go too hard, too fast. Again, this should be like you should feel a stretch, but not any pain. You're not trying to increase and see how far you can go back. Like some swimmer in the Olympics where they can clap their hands behind them. 3, 2, 1, and rest. We're gonna finish up with some punches to help warm up our hips and our back a little bit more. So body stance, one hand down, other hand down. And just keep switching. We're twisting, 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 twisting. Over exaggerate the twist. Make sure we get plenty of warm up here with these jabs and these punches. Jab, punch, jab, punch. Switch feet. We work both sides. A little extra with that back leg. Extra twist. Over exaggerate what you would normally do. So we can get those big twists. 2, 1, and rest. All right. We're gonna go into it now, but we're gonna break down each of the moves. So we have 3 moves to do in the first part, and then we're gonna have a 1-minute rest, and then we're going to start it over again, and we're gonna go through for 3 rounds. And then we're gonna work on some different muscle groups, and we're gonna do something kind of similar after that, where we go through 3 different movements, and then rest for a minute, start it all over again. So first thing is gonna be calf raises. So basically I'm just on my feet, flat-footed, and I'm gonna get up on my toes, and then come back down. So it's not a fast jerk or anything, I'm just going up slowly, bringing it back down. Climbing up, bringing it back down. Now, when you're doing this, if you happen to have any weights and you feel like this is something that's too easy for you can always just grab weights and hold them by your side. Some people like to put them up here on their shoulders, but you don't have to have weights. You're gonna feel this after doing it for 30 seconds, right? Whether you have weights or no weights. So I would say if you've never done this before, start with no weights. Don't worry about it, just get up on the balls of those feet. Now, the next part we're gonna focus on are squats. When we do squats, we need to bend all the way down as low as we can safely. And what I mean by that is our knees need to be in a good spot, our ankles need to be in a good spot, and our spine and our back need to be in a good spot. So I'll show you sideways. So you can practice this with me. I put my feet about as wide as my shoulders or solid wider if you want. And I let my feet face wherever they face. Mine don't face exactly to the front, they're off to the corners a little bit. And when I bend, I keep my back straight, so not walk out this way. I'm not a peacock from the chest up. Right? I'm gonna be just with my back straight. And I'm going to push my rear end backwards first. So I'm not leaning forward, my rear end is going backwards. So I'm pushing my butt back, and then I start bending my knees until I can't keep my feet flat on the floor. My feet are flat on the floor, they're flat on the floor, they're flat on the floor. I can go all the way down, and it's totally okay. A lot of people with flexibility, you might only be able to go down to here before your heels try to pick up. But we need our knees in a safe spot for two things. First of all, if I keep my hips back, my back straight, and bend my knees stay over here with my feet. And then I'm all good. And then I can push my way back up. The other one is we don't want the wobbly knees, the wonky knees to go in. So try not to let your knees go here. My knees follow where my toes are facing as I do this here. So they stay with my toes, and I can push back up. Keep my body in a good safe position. Better to do these slow and correct than to go really fast. So just try 3 more with me. Knees by shoulders. You can put your hands up if you want to. A lot of people like to put their hands out for balance, but push your hips backwards, bend nice and low, coming back up. And then 2, one more time. 3, and then back up. So we're working the squat. The last thing is called a Romanian deadlift. We're going to do it with both feet flat on the floor. You can do it with no weights. The way you do it with no weights is, again, you're gonna push your hips back with your back straight. So my back is straight, my hips go backwards, my butt goes backwards, and then I keep my knees straight, almost like I'm trying to do a toe touch, but with my legs straightish, my back nice and flat, and then I can bring it back up. I'm pushing my hips forward. So hips go back, hips come back up. Right? Again, if this is something that you've done before, or if it's too easy for you, you can always grab 1 weight or 2 weights, and you can do the same thing. Just hold them out there in front of you, over here, and then push your hips back, bring them down, bring it back up, controlled, jerking motions on the way back up. I'll show you with no weights today, so you can do it with me. If you've never done it, I would do it with no weights. So, first one's gonna be the calf raises. Second one's gonna be our squats. Third movement is gonna be our Romanian deadlifts, or our slow motion toe touches, right? We're gonna rest for 1 minute afterwards. We're gonna do calf raises for 30 seconds, squats for 20 seconds, Romanian deadlifts for 20 seconds. It does not matter how many you do, so don't even worry about counting. All right, are we ready? So we're gonna start with calf raises. Just on the balls of our feet, up there like that. Okay, here we go. Start it in 3, 2, 1, and go for it. Up, back down. On the balls of your feet, nice controlled, nice and slow. You'll see why after 30 seconds, even if you don't have any weights, it's still gonna be good. In martial arts, we use a lot of calf because we want to be able to ball up our feet a lot so we can move around more easily. So it's a good thing to strengthen. It also helps strengthen our ankles. We only have 7 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Now we're gonna go to squats. Just start squatting. Down and back up, and go as slow as you need to make sure it's correct. Hips back, back straight, all the way down, all the way back up. Feet stay flat on the floor. Knees stay in a good position. That your knees go in the direction your toes are facing. And good. Now, Romanian deadlift. So toe touches, down, back up. Back straight, hips back straight, no hunching. No Ninja Turtle shell back. Couple more seconds. And rest it out. We're gonna rest for a whole minute. And you might be like, oh, I feel like that's too long. I feel like you could go. Or maybe you're like, thanks for the minute. But it's good for our body to recover a little bit because we're gonna start it all over again. Just give yourself this whole time to rest. If you feel your heart rate is up a little bit, great. Some people think they only need to work cardio to be healthy for your heart, but working strength also will help a lot, more of an anaerobic kind of way. About 30 more seconds. If you feel, while we're about to do the calf raises again, when we do the calf raises, if you feel like your calf muscles are gonna lock up, it's probably best to stop for the day, but don't be tense, because then you're just keeping the muscles tense. Allow them to relax, just walk it out. All right, we have 10 seconds. We're going back to the calf raises. 2, 1, go for it. Up on your toes. Up on your toes, flexing those calves. Up, back down, nice controlled. Stay great. Putting some music onto this video, so listen to the music, have fun with it. 10 seconds. Then we're gonna switch to squats. Go straight to the squats. 3, 2, 1, and squat it out. Down, back up. As slow as you need to. You don't have to stay at my speed. You can go slower. You're really good at squats. Maybe you've done a lot of squats. You know that you have the muscle memory doing it. Speed it up if you need to speed it up. And good. Now, go back to the Romanian deadlift. So again, toe touches, back straight, hips go backwards, hips come back forward. Backwards, bring it back up. Nice and controlled. And rest. All right, we're gonna rest for 1 more minute. We're gonna do it all over again, one last time. 3 rounds should be good for us. Again, if you feel any muscles that are gonna lock up, just stretch them out. Just keep working them. All of these exercises help us with our legs and our back. Go. 30 more seconds, even if you're itching to go back. Wait the whole minute with me. Sometimes I get impatient and I'm like, let's go, but wait it out. "15 seconds. We're gonna go back to the calf raises one more time. 10 seconds. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, and go for it. Up on your calves. Or up on your toes. Work those calves. If you're not used to doing this, your legs are probably fatigued. Slow down if you're ready to work. If it locks up, it's not gonna get any better, so just let it rest. 5 more seconds. Go into the squats and go for it. Squat it out. Down, back up. Good. Last one, Romanian deadlift. Down nice and slow, back straight, hips back, hips come back up. Trying to push from your glutes, push from the back of your legs to pull you back up. And rest. All right, we're gonna go through the next part. So this next part, we're gonna go through the moves again just to make sure that we've got it. And then we're going to do 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 15 seconds, rest a minute, and we can start it all over again. Again, doing it 3 rounds. This is gonna attack more of our core, but it might get a little bit of your shoulders, like on our planks and everything. You're gonna get a lot of your obliques on the side. So if you have a mat, since we're gonna be on the floor, if you have a yoga mat, or if you're on carpet, you should be okay, but maybe something soft. All right, so if you have something soft to lay on, again, it's gonna be way better for you. We're gonna go through the movement. So first one's gonna be the plank. Now there's different ways of doing the plank. You can start from your knees if you need a more modified position, but you're gonna have to get down here on the floor with us. Now, if you wanna make it a little easier, for most people, actually being on your hands, as long as your wrists are okay, are gonna be a little bit easier because your shoulders can actually kind of alternate what muscles are working, but it's really our core we're trying to attack. So being on your elbows is gonna be a lot better because you can't use as many muscles to stabilize, and it's gonna have to use a lot of core. And so if you need to go modified, then you just have your knees on the ground, have your elbows on the ground, and we're just gonna hang out here, trying to keep our back as straight as we can. We're having to squeeze these abdominal muscles. Now, the more strict position, be up on your toes, and again, we're just gonna be holding right here in this plank position. So let's get ready to go on this and just try it for about 10 seconds with me. So whenever, find which works best for you. All right, if you go to here, And rather than stop, if you need to go down to your knees, you can always go to your knees. Or if you're starting on your knees, rather than stop, maybe just kind of hit the floor, come back up if you need it. Go ahead and rest. Now, the next thing is going to be Russian twists, right? Russian twists are some of my favorite. You could do this with no weight, or you can do it with weight, and I'll show you both ways. So, let me grab the weight real fast. So with no weight, which I suggest if you've never done this before, so you can see how intense it is, there's different ways we can do this. I'll show you sideways first so you can see my feet. So, right here with my feet, I can keep my feet on the floor, and I'll kind of lean back a little bit, right? Almost like I need to hold myself up. I'm already engaging. And I'll take my hands, and I'll put them on one side, and then I'll twist and put them on the other side, while continuing to lean backwards. So if you've never done this before, you might end up having to go, whoo, and then come back to it, but we're only gonna do it for 20 seconds. So see if you can make it for 20 seconds each round. Another way you do it to make it a little harder is lift your feet up off the ground. I typically like to cross my ankles, so I do that to make it easier. But coming across the same way, tapping on each side. So however you want to do it is going to be great. If you have a weight, then you just hold your weight, and then you go one side, other side. Controlled, not super fast. That way we can work through without injury, but making sure that it tightened up all those core muscles. Now, the last thing we need to do, just normal sit-ups. Now, sit-ups. I'm lying all the way down, and I'm gonna sit all the way up. Now, some people like strict sit-ups. A strict sit-up might be where you cross your arms or put your guard up, and then sit all the way up with no swinging motion. I want you to get all the way up. So typically the way I do my sit-ups, but I do them in high reps, is I'll put my hands up here, and I'll swing my hands down here, sit all the way up, and I'll tap out my feet, and I'll come back, and I'll tap over here by my head. I'm gonna get feet, and then head. So it doesn't matter how many you do, we're gonna try to make that for 15 seconds. So, first one's gonna be planks, second one Russian twist, and then last one is gonna be our sit-ups. So, we're gonna get ready for the planks. Again, we're gonna do it for 30 seconds. Then right after that, you're gonna roll over, sit on your rear end, and we'll do the Russian twist for 20 seconds. All right, ready? We'll get started in 3, 2, 1, go for it. Try not to have your rear end in the air. Keep the back as flat as you can. You can make it for 30 seconds. It's not going to be fun. Challenge yourself. It's okay if you can't. Alright, we're about to do Russian twist in 2, 1, and go for it. Just sit down and then Russian twist. Keep that lean back. We're about to go to sit-ups. 2, 1, and go for it. Sit it up. And rest. We're gonna rest for a whole minute. Be ready to go. All right, so again, just use this time to rest. If you need to lean back, if you feel like your core is really kind of straining right now, you can always just kind of lay over here. Give yourself a little cobra stretch. Stretch out those abdominal muscles. Use this time to rest, whether you're stretching or going for it. "30 seconds left." I know for some of us, like, you feel like you just want to go for it, you need us to rest. Our heart rate gets up, we let it drop. Our heart rate gets up, we let it drop. So now it's healthy for our heart and for our muscles. 15 seconds. We're gonna go back to the planks. All right, if you wanna get ready, we have 10 seconds. Starting planks in 2, 1, go for it. 10 seconds left. And go into Russian twist, go for it. Russian twist. Get that lean back. Keep pushing. 3, 2, 1. Sit-ups. And rest. Again, we're gonna rest for a whole minute. Let it rest. We got final round. Then we're gonna do a little stretch afterwards. Hopefully you're feeling the heart rate gets up a little bit, feeling warmness within you, maybe a little sweat. "30 seconds left. Then we'll do our last round, going back to the planks. "15 seconds. All right, 10 seconds. If you want to go ahead and get ready. Going into our plank in 3, 2, 1, and go for it. Breathe through it. You got this, only 7 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, back to Russian twist. Keep going. 3, 2, 1, and sit-ups are last thing. All the way up. And rest. All right, if you want to go ahead and work your way over to your stomach, we'll lay down on your stomach again. We're gonna do a little cobra stretch. So an actual cobra stretch doesn't go up very high. You put your hands, your thumbs by your ribs, push up just a little bit. Enough where if you let go, you can still be there. We're just trying to stretch those abdominal muscles. If you want to go a little higher, not quite upward dog, but close. Just stretch it out. And relax and have a seat. Have one leg out, bring the other leg in nice and tight to you. We're gonna stretch out our hamstrings, which we worked a little bit in our squats and then our Romanian deadlift. So reach down toward one foot, pull yourself in that direction. These are static stretches, so we're holding these stretches so we don't try to increase. Get to a spot that's uncomfortable that you don't like. You're like, ooh, that doesn't feel the best, but it's a stretch, not a pain. Now we're just gonna hold it, breathe through it, but don't try to get any lower. Now let's go to the opposite side. So open the other leg up, put that one in. Try to grab your toes if you can, but knees straightish, all the way down. It's okay if you can only get to your shin. And then grab that ankle, grab the bottom of your foot or your toes. Just stretching the back of that leg. Now we're gonna open up our hips. So put your feet together, hold them real tight, put them like your feet are clapping. Now 2 different ways you can do this one, both of them are in similar spots. I can grab my toes and try to put my nose toward my toes, or I can grab my ankles and push my elbows on my knees, and use my elbows to push my knees down toward the floor. But again, We're not trying to get into a painful spot. We're just trying to get into a spot where the muscles feel tight. We're stretching a little bit and we're just holding. A static stretch. If you held it long enough, you would be able to go farther. Not necessarily safely, but eventually your muscles would say, okay, you can stretch farther. Just because right now they're tense and they're telling your brain that they're gonna get ripped apart. So you're tensing up and it hurts. And relax. Now slowly bring your feet out straight in front of you. We're gonna do another hamstring stretch on the back of that leg. Point your toes up toward the ceiling. Maybe you can grab your toes if you can. The knees straightish and you're just bending down the middle. Depending on where you're probably the least flexible is where you feel this. You might feel it more on your Achilles, so on the back of your heel. You might feel it through your calf or even the upper part of the back of your calf. You might even feel it in your hamstrings or a little bit above the back of your knees back there. Just trying to get something to stretch. Breathe into it. And slowly relax. Alright, we did a little bit of shoulders with our planks, so let's just get a little bit of a shoulder. We're gonna get the shoulder in, so pull it across, pull it in nice and tight to you. Just hold it for a couple seconds. 2, 1, let's go the opposite direction. 2, 1, good. Now grab your hands behind your back. Link your hands, just make your elbows straight. If you can, get a little higher. If not, just feel those shoulders trying to open up backwards this way. And whenever you're ready, you can stand up. Make sure everything's back where it's supposed to go. Get those hips all back in the right spot. All right. So, hope you enjoyed the workout again today. Today, again, was not a cardio day. It was more of a strength day. But because we had the built-in rest, we were able to get our heart rate up, drop it down a little bit in between, which is going to be great for our heart. So, either way, it's right for it. So, let's face front. Jenny. All right. Have a great rest of your day.